There comes a moment in every man's life when everything starts to fall apart. When friends you trusted suddenly grow silent. When the job you gave your heart to ends overnight. When the home you built feels colder than ever. And in that silence, when you have no one left to call, no one left to impress, you realize something deeper. Maybe God didn't abandon you. Maybe He's inviting you closer. Because when a man has no one but God, he begins to see that he has everything. 1. God removes to rebuild. God doesn't strip things away because He's cruel. He does it because He's calling you higher, removing every false foundation that can't carry your destiny. Sometimes He allows the things we love the most to fade, so that our hearts can finally make room for Him. Look at Ethan, a man from the busy streets of Jerusalem Street. He worked for years chasing approval, climbing ladders that led nowhere. He thought success meant security, until one day, everything he built crumbled in a single week. His business failed, his friends stopped answering, his plans turned to dust. At first he asked, "Why me?" But in the silence, when there was nothing left to hold on to, he prayed for the first time in years. "Lord, if you've taken everything away, teach me what remains." And in that quiet room, peace entered like a soft wind. No money appeared, no miracle check arrived, but his heart changed. Because for the first time, God wasn't an idea, He was real. That's what happens when God takes things from you. He's not taking to hurt you, He's clearing space to heal you. True faith doesn't grow when life is easy. It's born in darkness. It's born when comfort disappears and only dependence remains. Just like Job, who lost his fortune, his family, and his health, yet lifted his hands and said, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be His name." When Job had nothing left but God, he discovered the kind of faith that storms can't shake. 2. The classroom of silence. When life grows quiet, that's not the absence of God. That's His classroom, His sanctuary. It's where He teaches you lessons no crowd could ever explain. Sarah, a single mother from Nazareth Hills, learned this truth. When her husband left and her world collapsed, she felt invisible, unseen by people, unheard by heaven. Each night she prayed, and each morning she woke to the same silence. But one night, through tears, something changed. Not her situation, but her heart. In the quiet, she began to sense God's presence, soft, gentle, and near. She realized that silence wasn't rejection, it was refinement. It was God preparing her to stand again. King David understood this deeply. Before he ever wore a crown, he hid in caves. He ran from enemies, slept on cold ground, and yet he wrote, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." That's why isolation is never punishment, it's preparation. God hides His greatest warriors in secret seasons before He reveals them to the world. You see, silence has a sound. It's the sound of God reshaping your soul. It's the whisper that says, "You are not forgotten, you are being formed." 3. When dependence unlocks power. As long as we have people to lean on, we fool ourselves into thinking we're strong. But when those supports fall away, we finally learn the power that comes from depending only on God. Moses discovered this in the wilderness. He didn't have strategy, resources, or strength, just obedience. And when he lifted his eyes, God sent manna from heaven and water from a rock. Because provision doesn't come from human plans, it flows from divine dependence. Paul echoed that truth centuries later. "My God will meet all your needs according to His riches in glory." That same promise is alive today. Think of Noah, a soldier who came home after years of conflict. He carried the weight of war in his mind, sleepless nights, shattered memories, a silence louder than any explosion. No therapist could fix the ache in his soul. But one night, kneeling beside his bed, he whispered, "God, if you're real, meet me here." And God did. Not with thunder or vision, but with peace. Peace that began to untangle years of pain. Peace that no medicine or words could ever produce. That's what dependence looks like. Trusting God not just when life works, but especially when it doesn't. Because when you have no one but God, you finally see His power in ways you never could before. 4. God doesn't destroy, He rebuilds. Sometimes God allows the fire to come, not to burn you, but to purify you. Because you can't step into the promise still carrying the weight of the past. Jonas, a craftsman from Bethany village, learned this painfully. A fire destroyed his pottery shop, years of work reduced to ashes. At first, anger filled him. He screamed at heaven, "Why did you let this happen?" But when his anger ran out, prayer remained. He whispered, "Lord, if you've taken this, show me what you're building next." Months later, Jonas rebuilt his workshop, not as a business, but as a mission. He began teaching fatherless children how to mold clay, telling them broken pieces can become beautiful again, just like us. Joseph lived that same truth centuries before. Betrayed, imprisoned, forgotten, yet through it all, God was writing a story of redemption. Every prison cell became a step toward purpose. Every loss became preparation for leadership. That's what God does. He doesn't waste pain. He transforms it. He tears down what's temporary to build what's eternal. He removes what's fragile so your foundation stands on Him alone. When a man finally loses everything, he discovers what can never be taken away. His money, friends, comfort may fade, but God remains. He is not your last resort. He is your first foundation. So if your life feels empty, if silence surrounds you, don't run from it. That silence is holy ground. It's where God speaks. It's where your heart finally has room for Him to fill it. You may have lost people, plans, and things you thought you couldn't live without, but if you still have God, you still have everything. If you believe that, type in the comments, "God is enough." Because when God becomes your everything, you finally become who you were always meant to be. And if you believe more believers need to hear this truth, subscribe and share, because conviction can save a soul before it's too late.